Well, hi everyone. Congratulations on finishing all 12 chapters of our AP Stats book. You completed the entire thing from front page to back, so nicely done. It's now time for us to start our 18-day review to get you ready for your final national exam. One thing I do want to let you know about this review is everything is, again, formative points, and it's all based on participation. So nothing is going to be scored on accuracy. So if you do a free response, it's more just about trying the free response and seeing how you're doing. Same with the multiple choice questions. You're going to try your best on the multiple choice. If you get like a 50 out of 100, you're still going to get the participation for that at 100 points. So in theory, this 18-day review, if you make my scheduled deadlines, you're going to get 100 points and 100% on everything. So it's not pressure about how you do, but I want you to stay focused and on task to be able to review the topics, do your best. And I'm really going to encourage you to do this. Put away all of your materials when you do this 18-day review. Don't try looking at your notes. Don't look at the book. Pretend this 18-day review is simulating your exam to see how ready you are. After you maybe try an assignment, then go back into your materials to see how you could have done it differently or better. So I highly encourage you, do not use any resources at your disposal, especially the paper-based students, and that's the majority of you are taking it that format. So let's actually go into the folder. And if you have not done so yet, I highly recommend you pick up the review packet that I have scheduled for this one. I have it in this general resources also if you want to print it out. It's over 100 pages long. It's very long. So I'd probably just come pick one up or let me if you want one at the distance learning table. If we take a look at that, again, as a reminder, the paper-based test is Monday, May 17th at noon, and the digital version is going to be Thursday, June 10th at 3 p.m. So make sure you have that on your calendar. Now, I want to give you a quick overview of what to expect over these 18 days. So the first thing is I always have this question board. If you want to post any questions, it'll trigger and let me know, or feel free to email me. The general resources, again, that's where you're finding this note packet if you want to view it that way. We have the first 3 days of our 18 is going to be doing a diagnostic exam. And that's what I'm going to really focus on in this video is giving you an overview of that. You're going to do a sample test. It's a pass exam, and you're going to end up scoring yourself at the end to see where you are, see what you know and what you don't know. This exam is covering the 4 topics that we did in Chapter 12. Topic 1 is explanatory data, and that is chapters 1, 2, and 3. We're going to have 3 days of review on that. Designing a study is topic 2. That was chapter 4 on its own, and I have 3 days just around that topic because it's typically about 15% of your exam. Topic 3 is probability. That's chapters 5, 6, and 7. And this one, I've given you 4 days. Students in the past have said they've always wanted a little bit more review on the probability because that's where they feel a little more challenged. So I've tacked on an extra day there. And then topic 4 is our inference studies and for statistics, and that's chapters 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and I have 3 days on for that one. Not as many days for how many chapters there are, but this one's more fresh in your mind. Now, the first thing in the packet you're going to see, and this is something that is supplied to you in the paper version, and it should be online also, is the formula sheet. It's a 10-page formula sheet, so you could use it or you cannot use it. I just want to highlight a few things, kind of let you know what chapters you're going to find these in and how it might be helpful to you. So these descriptive statistics, this is really from chapters 1 and 2. So you're going to see here X bar, which is our mean from chapter 1, the formula. Chapter 3 was chapter 3, yes, was writing like regression lines. That's going to be here, your predicted models, and then your R, which is your coefficient or correlation coefficient. This here is the standard deviation from chapter 1. This formula here of Y bar is you can end up using this to actually write in like what A is. So if you would solve this equation for A, that's going to give you this A value in your equation. This here, if you solve this for B, that's going to give you the B. So you're going to get the slope and the Y-intercept for your linear regressions. The next thing then came to be probability distributions. This was around chapter 5, which this is the OR probability formula. Remember, this means union, this symbol here, and this means intersection. The union symbol means or, the intersection symbol means and. Here's our formula for conditional probability. The probability of A given B. Basically, conditional probability is just a subset of the data that they give you. This next table here is more related to some of the reviews still within probably chapters 5 and 6. Discrete random variables, find the expected value, find the standard deviation of a probability distribution. Binomial distributions we talked about in chapter 7. So this is the mean and standard deviation of a binomial distribution. A geometric distribution was also in chapter 7, and this is its mean and standard deviation if you need that reference. Then the part 3 goes into really what's more fresh in our mind is our inference statistics. So you're going to have your standardized test statistic, right, which is like your z-score, like your piece of data minus your mean over your standard deviation. This may help you to reference. Confidence interval definition is just the statistic plus or minus your critical value times the standard error. And then chi-squared, which is really fresh in your mind from chapter 11. Down here on this next page, they're talking about, if you look at how this may help you, this is for mean and standard deviations for one population. And this is going to be, it's a p-hat, so it's for a categorical type of data. This is the differences of two populations, again, of categorical data, your mean and standard deviation. They're also going to give us the mean of one population if we are talking not categorical, but qualitative data, right? So this right here is our one sample means. This is the difference of two sample means. Again, I love having these little references. It can be helpful. Down here, as we continue to see for the slope, this is related to chapter 8 and information about what's the mean and standard deviation if you're doing a test on the slope. And then we also have this side information you're probably not going to use as much. Then it just jumps right into the tables. And to be honest with you, I have taught this class to you in a way to use your calculator more so. I personally, if I have to do a normal probability, I'm going to use normal CDF on my calculator, or I'm going to use inverse norm to kind of reverse it. If you want to, you can reference these tables. Remember, what you're going to do is you look up your z-score, and this is the probabilities on the inside. This first table all shows you negative z-scores. And then you're going to find the next table is going to be giving you the positive z-scores, is what you're going to see in this one. Again, I'm going to use normal CDF to get these probability answers. I'm going to use inverse norm to back into my z-scores or my data itself. After that, the table that they give you is the t-distribution. I'm probably just going to use t-CDF on my calculator, or I'm going to run a test. This is where those t-distributions really came into play for doing a t-test or writing a t-interval. I'm probably just going to use that, but you can absolutely use these tables if you want to. Just be careful when you read this. The t-distribution gives you the probability in the tail. So what you're finding is the probability kind of in these areas. I don't know if you're not familiar with using these tables, I would not worry about them at all. I would just go ahead and remember what we do for our calculator features. We also have the chi-square distribution, same thing. This has the probability is in its tail. If you're going to use the tables, be cautious with that and remembering it, or just use your, a chi-square test or something of that nature. And that really is the formula sheet. Truly, I don't know how much you're going to use the formula sheet. I think the most common reference of the formula sheet is if they ask you to write like a linear regression equation from the output, and they give you means and standard deviations, and you have to do that. I don't see that question often, but I have seen it every now and then. Okay, now I want to go into just talk about this diagnostic test over days 1 and 2. What day 1 and 2 is about. So day 1, if I hop back into the folders, you're going to want to go and click here into the diagnostic exam. So our first day, what you guys are going to do is you want to block off 90 solid minutes. Have that formula sheet available and have your calculator available. This is actually the 2014 AP Stats exam. Go into here and do the best that you can. That's what you're going to do on day 1. Take a breather, take a rest. The next day is day 2. Day 2 is going to be the 6 free response questions. When you click into here, you're going to you can upload, I think, or what do I even have you do here? No, here it is. If you want to print it off, this is the exam right here. Don't look at the solutions yet, you guys. We'll do that on our day 3 and we analyze the results. But if you need to print it out, here's the actual exam. Or if you just go back to the note packet here, in the actual note packet, here they are. These are the first 6 questions. Now, I will tell you how the paper-based test is designed. The first 5 questions are meant to have you spend about maybe 15 minutes on each. The number 6th question is one they want you to spend about 25 minutes to half an hour on. It is called an investigative problem, and they do this every year. So question 6 is called investigative. The first few parts of question 6 are going to feel familiar and maybe something you could answer. Maybe the last question or the last 2 questions is something you've never seen, and they just want to see how you're going to handle it. So be creative, be thoughtful, see what you can do. There's really no way for you to prepare for the second half of this question number 6, but it does have a little bit more weight. It's weighted as 2 free responses. So be careful on the paper-based exam. Again, the first 5 are important, but number 6 is important too because it's double weighted on that one. So that is going to be your day 1 and day 2. Now, after that, what you're ultimately going to do on day 3 is I have you fill out a few questions on this green puzzle piece about go and analyze your results. And I have a video that will talk about how to analyze the results on that one and see what you should do for prep. How should you focus? Are you just nailing it on topic 1 and you feel really good? Well, then I don't know if I'd take topic 1's review as focused and as serious as you need to. Is topic 2 something you need a refresher? If so, then you really need to focus on that. Maybe you even want some more extra review on it. So that is really what day 1 and day 2 is about. Good luck in your review. And again, please stay focused on these review deadlines. If I assign a review on a certain day, be really cautious that you know when the deadline is, because that deadline, if you meet the deadline, is going to give you 100% participation credit for that one. Again, incredibly easy to maintain kind of an A in this review session, but reach out to me for whatever help that you need. Good luck, and we're almost done with this year. I know you guys can really wrap it up and show us what you got. So talk to you later and have a great day.